everybody has that bourbon, whiskey, rye on that list that has just been unattainable for them. Today we're going to talk about some of those for us. Welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Kingdom. I'm David.
And I'm Zach.
And today we're going to talk about unicorns or bottles that we've just never gotten.
Yeah, so at some point in time, whenever you're in the bourbon game and you're super nerdy like us, you know, because let's face it, we're on YouTube watching videos about bourbon. So
yes.
you have to be one of us, like where you're super nerd, because we're the exact same.
Yeah.
You are chasing after that bottle of bourbon, that whiskey, whatever it is. If it's a unicorn, if it's a dusty, if it's whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever it is.
But you're chasing after something.
Yeah.
We're all doing it. So
I remember even on like the beginning of my journey, like thinking through like the beginning of my journey, just being able to find like a Blanton's or whatever.
Everybody's been there.
Yeah, just kind of like,
sure,
oh my gosh, I get to get that. And then once you get that, then it's like a drug. It's like it gets in your veins and you're just like, ooh, what can I get next? What can I get next? So
totally agree.
Yeah.
For me, it's always, when it comes to bourbon, I don't always feel like I'm chasing after something, but at the same time, there's always something I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And, with me, it goes in waves. Sometimes I'm looking for something new because of the channel. Sometimes I'm looking for something personally, just because I've had it at a friend's house or whatever it would be.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
Whatever. So
before we get started on our list, let's just say hit that like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, because we are slowly creeping up to that 20,000 mark.
Slowly but surely.
Hopefully. Yep.
All right, so you want me to lead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the first thing that I would love to have, but I don't have. And all these bottles, by the way, are all bottles we don't have clearly. So put that in the comments below.
Actually,
what you're
some of them
after.
That I don't have, he might have in this room that we're currently in, but I don't own them. So,
and you have some things I don't own.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So, anyways, going back to the list. So, first thing I want to do is I want a dusty wild turkey, but not just any dusty wild turkey. I want a cheesy goat foil 1988 wild turkey. And the reason why I want it to be 1988 is because that's my birth year. And I have a dusty wild turkey actually in a box over here with my birth year, but I was thinking to myself actually just like a month or two ago, I was like, man, I don't have a cheesy goat foil one, and I really feel like I should have one for my birth year.
It's understandable.
And it's a little ridiculous because you're like, man, like the 91's really good, I think 92 is really great. But I think if there's a list of bourbons you have to have in your life, I feel like a dusty turkey of your birth year, if possible, is what you need.
Yeah, that would be a 76 for me. So
I think they have them.
They probably do.
Yeah,
I'm sure they.
Maybe
they
not
do.
Cheesy goat full.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
You're sitting here sweating because you're like, I don't want to pay the price for that.
I definitely don't want to pay the price for that. First one on my list, and it's not that it's not attainable. It's just that I've never found it in the wild, and so like. Last year, I would have said Stagg was on that list because I had not ever gotten a Stagg in the wild. For some reason, the waters parted, whatever happened. I got like...
It's so dramatic.
Yeah, I know. Whatever it is, I got like 4 or 5, I think maybe 5 Staggs last year. Which I'm super stoked about and all that stuff, but I get to mark that off my list of like things that have been unattainable for me up to this point. And so the next one on that list for me is an E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. I have yet to find one at any of the stores I frequent, any of that kind of stuff. And so for me, just plain and simple, I don't have that on my bar, and that tube always looks cool on the bar.
What's weird about that? That is, obviously that's a difficult bottle to get. I do feel like they're slowly but surely getting more available as they kind of get put out there. So hopefully. Hopefully down
Cross my fingers this year that I can mark that off the list and put something new on there.
Next one for me, which it's really funny because I was thinking to myself, I've never owned one of these. even though I have some decanters of them,
Yeah.
is a Chestman. I'd love to have some Chestman pieces. I'd love to be able to sit there, decant them, share them, and just be able to truly enjoy them. I think they are honestly some of the best stuff. Some of the best Dusties you can get that's not like this crazy, outrageous price.
Yeah.
Because most of them are pretty outrageous pricing depending on that tier of Dusty, in my opinion. But to me, I think they are somewhat gettable, and I think you can get them at a reasonable price.
And those of y'all who don't know what, just look it up. Google Chestman.
We'll have pictures.
Whiskey. Yeah, we'll
of
have
all
pictures
these bottles,
and stuff like
so
that. But just look it up. You'll see. You can kind of see. They're very cool decanters and all that stuff.
And it's
apparently
amazing product.
Yeah, apparently the product is good. I've never had it either, so just kind of cool stuff. The next one for me is another Buffalo Trace product, which would be a George T Stagg. Since I got the little brother, I'm trying to get after that big brother, and just the only BTAC I've ever gotten in the wild is Handy, and I was happy to get it, but I'd love to get the one that I think consistently year in and year out is really, really good.
Do you have a year that you'd prefer?
I really like the 2019. Of the ones that I've had, I know that there are probably some older ones that are better, but since my bourbon journey really began, I would say probably like the 2019. And I've had the 2019 from our buddy Wes. I got a small pour from him one time, which was super cool. So
cool.
Yeah.
Next one for me would be one of the Al Young small batches that was from Four Roses back. I think it was 2017, if I'm correct. What's crazy about that bottle is I enjoyed whiskey then. I was not into looking for the really hard to find stuff then.
Yeah.
But I remember shortly after, one of the first really special bottles I could have gotten was that one. And I passed on it for a multitude of reasons, and I've regretted it ever since. Yeah. So I've never owned one. Some people go back and forth. I've had a long time ago. I don't really remember what I thought of it then.
Yeah.
But I've heard, some people be like, oh, it's overrated. Some people be like, it's the best Four Roses ever. I've heard it on both spectrums. It's just one of those, as a Four Roses fan, I would just love to be able to get a bottle of that.
Yeah.
But man, they're pricey and expensive. Like, it's one of the more pricey bottles on this list I'm looking at. And it's kind of one of those, like, I don't want to spend that money on it.
Yeah.
But I really want it for my collection. Like, I would love to be able to acquire it.
Yeah.
So,
good luck.
Yeah, I know, right?
Good luck.
It's the second hardest bottle on my list to find.
Yeah. The next one for me would be an anniversary bottle for me. Because like I said, my bourbon journey's been in the last 3.5, 4 years. And I got married in 2000. So you can see I would love to have a Blanton's that said November 4th, 2000. So if anybody out there has a November 4th, 2000 bottle that they are looking to offload.
If anybody's been sitting on a bottle for over 20 years.
If you have, send me a message. Maybe we can work a deal out and all that good stuff. But that honestly, if I could go, in a lot of ways, I wish my bourbon journey would have started back then, because it would be a whole lot different now. And some of those momentous occasions in my life could have been marked with some of these cool bottles. But it is what it is, and chances are I'll probably just have to find a November 4th at some point that just marks
2024.
That marks
just
our
go out
anniversary.
to Vegas, redo the wedding vow.
Yeah,
and
then
it'd be good.
Yeah,
It'd be
maybe
good.
that's what we'll do. We'll renew our vows, and I'll mark it with that.
There you go.
But again,
problem solved.
But again, if anybody has a 2000 bottle just sitting around, let me know.
Next one on the list. This is by far the most ridiculous, probably the most expensive one I'd love. You guys know how much I am a President's Choice fan, and how much they are. That's one of my favorite lines that you could get. So to me, if I could get one of the dusty old Forester President's Choices, it'd be awesome. And they range. They're in like a little bit like round bottle. Most of them you see are just like empty decanters at this point. But I would love to be able to get one bottle of that and just be able to compare it with like a new one nowadays. And like I said, I know I'm probably never going to get it. That's why it's like that unicorn that you keep chasing.
Yeah.
So unless I hit lottery, I know I'm not going to get it. But it would be really cool to be able to compare the old stuff to the new stuff now, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Next on my list is, and you all know that I don't really chase birthday bourbon, but the cool thing with birthday bourbon is it signifies, again, marked dates in your life. Like, I'd love to get either a 2007 or a 2010, or actually, I'd like to get both of them.
I really thought we found you on the other
Yeah,
night.
I know.
I was really excited.
So those are both bottles that mark my kids' birth years, and I would eventually want to open those because eventually sooner rather than later, my son's gonna be 21.
Wow.
He's already turned 17 this year. So the cool thing would be to be able to just kind of mark those momentous occasions with my boy, and then just hand him the bottle and say, "That's to start your collection." So, which would be really cool. So, any of those two birthday bourbons, again, if anybody has them and you don't want like 4 arms and 6 legs for it, maybe we can talk.
My last one would be an old Granddad 114 Dusty. It's like the gold foil. I don't know if there's technically a different name for that one or not, but we'll have a picture of it showing.
Yeah.
I've had this one before. I love it. It's absolutely outstanding. And it's one of those, like, I've just never really seen too many of those up for grabs before. So I would just love to be able to get one. And it kind of goes back to Old Granddad, how much it is really funny because I look at, like, I don't love the Old Granddad 114 like I used to. I actually like the Bottle and Bond now more. But just the couple times I've had that, I just think it's outstanding. I would just love to be able to have that in my collection. I know a lot of my stuff is like dusty stuff, but just I have such an appreciation for it and just absolutely love it.
And last on my list is hands down my favorite bottle. I mean, honestly, of all the bottles I've had, this is my favorite bottle, and I've never had the bottle. I've drank it plenty. It is the Heaven Hill 17-year heritage collection. It is just a different animal, and I know I could get it. I just don't.
All right, as long as we're understanding.
I can get it. I just don't want to spend $1,100 or $1,200 to do so.
Right now.
It may be a little bit lower now. So maybe work out some trades or something to make it happen. But that is my unicorn of all unicorns at this point. So tell us what's on your list. Tell us what your unicorn would be. And again, it doesn't have to be what ours are. I mean, heck, his are from before I was even born sometimes. And so just tell us kind of what that is, and I'd be anxious to hear kind of what your all's list looks like as well. So until next time.
We'll see you.
We'll see you.